Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Nikki McCutchen. I can't say my name tonight. I will be your host. We're really glad you're here. I always love these nights because everybody gets to come on and we don't know what anybody's going to get to share about what they've noticed with this amazing technology, but we're all just going to have fun hearing each other's stories and what we've noticed with the technology, and what a blessing that we literally watch it just bless so many people's lives day in and day out. And it's why I'm so very thankful. I know so many of you are as well. Just so thankful to have access to this technology and be able to share it with others. So we're going to start with our medical disclaimer. All of the technology we'll be discussing tonight is for informational and educational purposes only. All the products are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are pregnant or nursing or have any type of medical conditions, please remember that just like with embarking on any new diet or fitness program, that you need to check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first. So with that, we are going to get started. I'm super excited to hear from you. So you guys get thinking of what you would like to share in what you're noticing. I will share, I have had so many recent amazing things happen. So I will start with that. Okay, Angela, you're working out. That's awesome. Okay, so you're just going to listen. Well, we're glad you're here, that you're going to be working out and listening at the same time. I'm all for working out, y'all. We feel better. Our bodies move better. Our brain cognition is better. We get stronger. So yes, whenever you can get that workout in, 100%, please do it. So I actually I'm sorry, I might be on a tangent tonight. So I was listening to Pastor Ed's I was able to be on the call, but I re-listened to it on when he was talking about the human body pod and just measurable results. And I forget what you called it, Pastor Ed, aging. It was like longevity and age reversal and things like that. And so I was listening to that today. So it just made me think about all of that all those things are important, making those little strides. Pastor Ed was talking about, just whatever you can do, walking, pushing yourself in whatever you're doing, just a little bit more, just each day, just, pushing yourself just a little bit more so you can get stronger and stronger. So anyway, so my story that I was going to start with is that I have this gal who she started on the technology. She's been in multiple wrecks, so different types of, pain, aches, and issues over the years. And she's really kind of lost feeling in her fingers. And so what she was noticing is that her fingers, she like the coldness in them is almost like burning. And so that's what's so amazing about this. And so because a lot of times people will freak out, right? They'll think, oh my gosh, something bad is happening, because it's uncomfortable. But those nerve endings are starting to turn back on. So when we're talking about regeneration with the technology, your body decides. So remember, it's not the technology that is causing any of this to happen. It is your body is in complete control. It is just a switch that has been flipped for your body to have access to the ability to regenerate again because of the peptide that's being turned on by the technology. So she was noticing that sensation. So I was like, just stick with it. She was like, and what was great is that she had educated herself enough. Like, she's only been on the technology for about a month or less than a month, but she'd educated herself enough to understand the way that the technology works. And so she called me and said, I just wanted to confirm if you think that this is what is happening, is that those, I'm getting the sensation and the feeling back in my fingers again, or at least in those nerve endings, and it's trying to move stuff around. And so it's pretty uncomfortable, but I think that's what's actually going on. I was like, yes, thank you so much for calling me. You are completely right. You're exactly on the right track. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. It is going to regenerate whatever it so desires. And so I'm so thankful because your body wants to have communication with all of its parts. And so when those have been limited, it wants to be able to allow that blood flow and everything to happen all throughout your body again. And so when those nerves start to turn back on, that can be very uncomfortable for people. So thankfully, she did just stick with it. And it was just 2 days later. It didn't even take that long. And she was like, yeah, it feels so much better. I'm so glad that I kept, I just worked through it. So anyway, that was fascinating. I was so thankful that she was having those great results really, really and truly very quickly. I wouldn't have expected it to happen that quickly for her. So Vicki, please come on.
I can vouch for the pain when your nerves are regenerating because it literally feels like a knife is going through your nerves and it's very painful, but it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. I just always think, oh, regeneration's happening. I put in my mind to be optimistic and be like, oh, like it's a party or something because it hurts so bad. But it makes a huge difference. So
Mm.
I definitely had some nerve damage with my arm, and that's completely healed up, and that was 2 years ago. And then
Praise the Lord.
my foot had some nerve damage also, just stiffness, nerve damage, and there's no nerve damage there now. So it just takes time. I believe that's one of the hardest and the most painful. I guess that's why it's the hardest for the regeneration to happen. But what I wanted to share for me personally was I started jogging at the school with my oldest son, and I don't know what happened, but I must have aggravated the tendonitis in my Achilles, and oh, I was just so I couldn't even walk up and down the steps. It was so painful. I put all my patches on, and I mean during the day it was a little bit better. I did some soaks in the evening, like some Epsom salt soaks because it kind of helps get to the bone. Um that was good for the daytime, and then evening I always pray before I patch anyway, but I was just praying, and it was like God said to put glutathione on my ankle area, like my heel, but in different places than I had the other patches. And when I woke up the next morning, it felt amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I mean it took a little time. And another thing was I ran out of my collagen. So that made a huge difference. I mean, anything like that, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can make it. But I'm so thankful because I can't imagine how I would have felt without the technology.
Yeah. Yeah, Vicky, I'm not quite sure you would have been out there running with your son if you didn't have the technology all these years. I think your life would be very different than it is today.
I think so too.
Yeah, yes. So tell us, how long do you think, like, it might have been different with your bicep and then your foot, but how long do you think the regeneration, do you remember how long you felt like that, stinging pain, nerve pain lasted each time?
It's kind of hard to say because like every once in a while, like if there's no pain now, but every once in a while I'll get like a sharp and like for a second and then it goes away, in certain areas where the nerves have been regenerated. But so what I would experience at first was it was definitely painful. I mean, it was like, oh, but, then it got a little bit easier as the days went on, and I kept patching it consistently every day. Um, and I would say maybe about no more than a month.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Mhm.
what would you say about consistency? What would you tell us about the importance of consistency in this technology?
So, I mean, obviously we had an injury or something. So what you want to do, and I'm just like you, Nikki, I want to throw the kitchen sink at it. I'm gonna beat that sucker with a pole or something. I'm just gonna take it and whack it, get the step and whatever's going on, I'm patching it up. And I didn't even care if you could see my ankle at that point. I was just like, oh, oh. And I'm thankful that we have all these patches, because they do different things for the body. But I tell you what, consistency is key because I can tell and one day when I don't wear my patches.
Mm.
So the more that you wear them, I mean, it helps your body in so many different ways. But I can go for a long time without realizing that I missed my patches because I've been wearing them for so long. So it definitely is helpful. And if I missed a whole day or something with the patches, I'm not sad. I could just tell a difference in my energy is the main thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. Yeah. Anybody else have a story they want to share with us?
I'd like to share something.
Awesome.
The other Milad, the second one. Anyhow, going back to talking about working out, I'd like to do some tests for myself, and I wouldn't recommend you guys do this, but I do it anyhow because I wanted to understand my body and how working out is doing and how I'm getting better at it. And so what I did the other day, yesterday actually, is I didn't put any patches on. You know, you hear Vicky putting, I think she puts enough patches on herself that I don't have to put any myself. It's just like the energy just flows from her, right?
Yeah.
So
Osmosis.
yeah, right.
Osmosis.
Something
Body to
like that.
body osmosis.
So I didn't put any patches on and I worked out. And normally when I'm working out, I work out really late. So we have an in-home gym called Amp Fitness. And so I'm working out really late, and not because I like to work out late, it's just work. You know, it's just a lot of things to do. And the last thing I want to do is I want to relax. And people say, relax? How are you going to relax and work out? That's my relaxing time. But since I didn't have any patches, I was aching. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't feel like this before. Like, what's going on? Like, all my body parts and the muscle groups that I was working out was aching. And I'm like, I'm not used to this, you know? And of course, today I put my patches on and I'm gonna work out a little bit later. And I'm sure I'll have no pain after putting on my patches, no discomfort, no anything going, no aching of the muscles. Because when I work out, I mean, I go for a half an hour to 45 minutes, but I go 100%. I don't, you know, just go a little bit and then increase it. I just go to the max. And so that's what I do. And I don't recommend to people, if you want to work out, you do it at your pace. This is just my pace, right? So I just want to thank God that we have a technology that if you are fit and you have no problems, you have no disease, no sickness, can you still use these patches? And absolutely. And that's how I feel. You know, I don't have any sickness, God, thank God. I don't have any pains, any issues. I don't take any medicine. So but if I am um, without my patches, I feel my age. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
and
want to feel that.
ultimately, I mean, the technology was designed for elite athletes. So it was originally designed for the Navy SEALs and then the the Olympic swimmers. So yeah, it wasn't actually designed for, the original was not designed for people that have symptomology or issues or whatever. It was designed for. So that's the way. I mean, if it's good enough for an Olympic athlete and a Navy SEAL, then it's good enough for me. That's for sure. So,
Absolutely.
yes, yes, very good. Anybody else have a story they want to share? So you all be thinking, so you can raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself. I have a wild one. I have got a wild one. I forgot about that when I was sharing the other one. So this is one I have never heard of before. Truly fascinating. So I have a client who he's been on the X39 for a really long time. So body turning on, having access to GHK copper peptide, and then GHK copper peptide doing all the things that it does in the body. He decided that he wanted to go ahead because he was researching peptide therapies and he was getting into all these different peptides. And so, so he's like, what other, patches can I add for my, what other peptides do you have that I can activate on my own? So just based on what his, the things he has going on in his health, he's got some brain issues and some heart issues. And so I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and add the X49 because again, we're dealing with AHK, copper peptide, being able to turn on a more specific type of stem cells. So your body having access to stem cells that are needed for muscles to repair and regenerate, for your brain and your heart to repair and regenerate, for your bones to stop bone loss and increase bone density. And so I was like, let's add this one. So he adds it during the day, and he comes to me and he's like, Nikki, he's like, I just don't know if I can keep using the X49. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What's going on? He's like, he's like, literally, I could go to, and he has full energy. He has to set an alarm on his phone to take off his X39 at 6:30 every single night, because if he doesn't, it will keep him up. He won't be able to go to sleep when he goes to, I think he goes to bed at 10. So when he goes to bed, he can't go to sleep right away. So he has to set an alarm at 6:30 to be able to go to sleep by 10. So full energy, just very vibrant personality, just, wonderful, wonderful guy to be around. Anyway, so he's like, it was like 5:30 and I didn't think I could keep my eyes open. He's like, I wanted to go to bed. And so just knowing what's going on with him, and he's used the X39 now for 2 years, I think almost probably close to 2 years. So, and I was like, okay, well, since we know, the X39 is giving you, energy, the X49, knowing what you have going on in your brain and your heart, and the regenerative cells that are getting up and running in your body are specific to your brain and your heart. So let's start wearing the X49 at night. Okay, so again, like I haven't heard of this before. I would never tell anybody to wear the X49 at night. Plus, you're usually telling people when they're working out, or when they're gonna have really long or strenuous days or anything like that. That's when you would wear that X49. But since I knew that he hadn't added anything else, so go ahead and wear it at night. So he is sleeping so well. So his energy came back almost instantly, feeling full energy again. And he has to set another alarm to where he puts his X49 on. I think, what did he tell me? He puts it on, I think it's like 8 or 9. So that by the time when he goes to bed, it just like he's out instantly. He's like, Nikki, it's like it knocks me out. Like I am down for the count. And it literally, so when he gets up in the morning and he takes it off in the morning, he will feel groggy, and it will take him an hour to finally like get to his full functioning energetic self, which that was never the case. And so and I was like, again, this is why it's so important. Our bodies are so different. And so listening to our bodies, like Vicki was talking about, praying where to put the patch, what's going to be best for your body. This is not anything we would ever recommend for anyone. But because again, I knew, and so now he's like, I am having full life, vivid dreams. Like this is what we hear from like the Alavita or the Silent Night sometimes, is people have full on, they've gone to the movies when they've slept. He's like, I am having the deepest, most these amazing dreams. I remember all of my dreams. All these things that I've never heard of with X49. It's absolutely incredible, but he is over the moon. He's like, I have not slept this good in probably 20 years. He's like, this is so amazing. I feel so good. So of course, he's telling everybody that we're all around, all these people. And so they're wanting me to hit them with the sleep patch. And I'm like, this patch is not going to work like this for you. I have never heard of this before. And of course, they want to just use it. Can I have a sample? Can I have a sample? And I'm like, I'm sorry, that this is not how this works. Like for you to try a one night sample of X49 for you to sleep in, there is no one else that I have ever heard that this has happened to. So I am so glad that it is working fantastic for him and he is having fantastic results. But please don't go get back to the person who invited you to call and tell them that you want to use X49 to go to sleep. Please don't do that because it is I've never heard of this before. So anyway, if you want to order some Alavita from them for, or Silent Night, I would say go that route if you need some extra for sleep. Add the Eon in there, like Vicky was talking about. If you want to hit it with the kitchen sink at night for sleep, Alavita, Eon, and Silent Night all together. Use those three at night and let's see if we can get you, sleeping better. If you want to go slow and just try some things, then start with the Alavita and see how that does for a month or two. And then, we can switch it up to see. But anyway, I was just, that story was just crazy to me. So that our bodies, right? Like we have no idea what our bodies need, but our bodies know. So if we give the technology the time and we give it enough communication with whoever invited you to use these patches to figure out how to use it properly, that's going to benefit you the most. Give it that time, give it that effort, the energy. Your health is worth it. Your health is worth that extra time and energy and effort to do all of those things. So to talk with the person who invited you to use the technology. So anybody else want to come on and share a story?
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of share because this consistency, it really is important. And for me personally, because I had so many different issues in my body, it's kind of like a traffic jam in there, and those meridians. I had traffic jam all over my body. And why wait for a traffic jam to happen to start patching? It's like I want my body to have full energy and communication and for it to do whatever it was supposed to do. So if I don't allow the energy to flow, then I'm just going to keep having a traffic jam.
100%. Yeah. I hear this mechanic talk all the time. And your
Yeah.
example is perfect. Would you, not take care of your oil? Like, what if you just decide you're just not going to take care of the oil in your car, for forever? I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know how long, like, at what point does your car just, blow up or stop because you didn't take care of your oil? It's not going to be very long. It's going to be a lot shorter than you think it's going to be. So why wait for that to happen, right? Make sure you're taking care of the things. And there's nothing easier than putting on, oh, I didn't even show it, this tiny little patch. Pastor Ed, please come on. I guess I have one on here. Yeah, Pastor Ed.
Nikki, I have to go get an oil change in my car. That's why I
Oh,
was
yeah,
laughing.
you do. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about why dreams are so important. There's so many things happening. There's deep processing that happen when you're dreaming, and it mainly is on the REM sleep. Okay, so what happens? The brain processes emotions throughout the day. You get the experiences that we have get organized, and even stressful situations get resolved and work through your dreams. So that's why people often feel lighter and clearer, and they feel even great when they have a good night's sleep. Also, emotionals get reset and stress gets reduced because of your dream. So, when we're talking about vivid dreams that happens in REM, that's when your body gets most of it restored. It reduces the intensity of the emotional memories that we have. It separates us from the emotions and the events, and it also supports the balance between thinking and emotional brain. So all this ties together in activating something that calls it's called the amygdala over time. So it's so important, and this is why we love this meetings, because we're learning all these things about dream. It's not just like, oh, I had a vivid dream that was beautiful. No, something deeper is happening in our bodies, and that is where you want to be. That is the best thing that you can do to your body. See, God has given us a body. I can't, I'm the only one that can take care of my body. Vicky and my kids, nobody can eat for me. Nobody can go to the bathroom for me, which sometimes I wish they did. But we are the only ones that can take care of our bodies. So that's why sleeping and having this great recovery. Also, another thing that I want to share with you, the restoration that is happening in our bodies. So the connections, the neural connections get strengthened. The brain becomes more adaptable and also the learning problems get solved easier when you have a good night's sleep. And this is part of the scientists, they call it neuroplasticity. So there's a lot of things, and I can go on, but I'll stop right there. I don't want to take over the meeting. Did we lose Nikki, or is she still
I'm
around?
still here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still here. Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
hopefully that
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all that. And it reminded me, I'm so glad you shared all this. So I am so excited about this. So I have a practitioner who she is very metrics based. So everything has a metric and an indicator that you can watch that's going on in the body behind the scenes. So whether you're feeling things or not, she's looking for those things. And so she has been on the technology, just the X39, for a month now. And the only measurable results she has, so she has all of her blood work. So she's just running all this testing on herself because she would never introduce her clients to anything that she hadn't already run the testing and everything on herself. So of course, I'm all about it because we already know. So we already know in the science and the studies that we have, we know that it shows up in the blood work in 24 hours, 7 days and 30 days. GHK copper peptide is being increased in the body. We already know that it starts to bring down inflammation, that inflammation in the brain, about around 6 weeks, that starts to come down. So you start to see all of those things. So we've seen it in our test results already. Sleep, okay, exactly what you were talking about, Pastor Ed. So the sleep metric is the one that she has access to live because she's using an Aura ring. So we have all of these measurable tech devices. So like Pastor Ed and Vicki, I'm also using the Hume Body Pod and Band. But we have ways, but because that's what she's doing with her clients, she knows how to dig into those metrics and really understand what she's seeing because that's what she's doing for all of her clients. So, so she's extremely healthy because this is what she does for all of her clients. So of course you don't know what's going to happen because she's already optimizing her own health. So she starts wearing this technology. She's monitoring her Aura ring. So it doesn't look like this, but anyway, she's monitoring her Aura ring information. Her REM sleep increased by 100%. Exactly what Pastor Ed is talking about. 100% increase in a healthy person's ability to function better. So just like what Pastor Ed said, what do we know about sleep? What we know is then when we are sleeping well, that is how our body heals itself, is while we are sleeping. It's why the other night, Pastor Ed, or I guess it was a few weeks ago, when he was talking about sleep, that he's trying to do better at getting to bed earlier at night. Because when you start to learn all of the detoxification processes that happen throughout the night, and when they start happening at 11 p.m. So if you're still awake, you're that portion of what your body needs to detoxify is not going to happen. So we need to be asleep before 11 p.m. for those detoxification processes to start happening. Not only that, the cascading effect that happens in the body for it to be able to detoxify at the different hours that hit while we're sleeping. Okay. So again, this REM that she was talking about, even though it was 100% increase, sometimes people won't notice that, okay, just based on whatever's going on with them. But that's a measurable metric that she can utilize with her clients to tell them, even if they're not noticing it, okay? So that was a huge increase for her, okay? That was just one. Her HRV, okay, which on that video, go back to patchtheway.com, find Pastor Ed's video on, what was it, Pastor Ed? Something aging. It's called something, it was just like 2 weeks ago. I think he just posted it like
Inflammaging.
inflammaging. Okay. So
Or
go back
your
and
real
find that
age
video.
is what the name of the video is called, your real age.
Your real age. Okay. So go find that on patchtheway.com. He goes through all of this stuff. He talks about HRV. So your heart rate variability and the need for it to increase. And he talks a lot about how we even increase that. So her HRV in 1 month started to increase. Okay. You are not going to notice that. Most people will never notice that their HRV is increasing unless you have, that's going to take over time in the way that you feel each day. Her readiness score, okay, the Aura Ring does a readiness score. What that calibrates with that readiness score is your sleep, so her REM sleep. It is also the HRV. It's also your breath, so your oxygen intake, how you're breathing, how your body is moving. So the ability of all those things working together. Oh, thank you, Pastor Ed. Pastor Ed posted the YouTube video in the channel, so everybody go in and grab that. But your readiness score for the day, so how ready your body is to take on this day, that's what it's measuring for you. Over multiple angles, that also increased. You are never going to feel that in 30 days. You are not. That's why I always talk to you about, if you're not noticing something with this technology, that you need to have measurable results. So with this practitioner, she works with everybody on Zoom, and I'm actually working with her to develop a program so that I can send people to her, so that if I'm feeling like they're not noticing something with the technology, that she can test their copper and zinc balance, that she's able to test their electrolyte score, so potassium, magnesium, sodium, and then as well as she's looking into a way to potentially be able to test for GHK, so glycine, histidine, and lysine. So those are all things that are needed to optimize the ability of the patches to work. Now, what's cool about this is, even though I'm doing all of that, okay, because I want my clients to be able to, obviously we want everybody to be able to feel something, but the cool thing is that she's going to be able to then also show them if they want to work with her, to have those measurable results. So even though they're not feeling anything yet with the technology, that she can show them it is actually working in their body, along with knowing whether those things are deficiencies in their body that they need to do something about. But so here's the thing. So I'm going to all those links, and this practitioner and I are having so much fun figuring out how we want to run this program and utilize this for people. But David Schmidt, okay, so that's our inventor and founder. He already took care of all of this for us. Okay, so you don't have to go to these links, just so you know. It's just something that I enjoy. And because I get to work with so many practitioners, it's fun to be able to have those options for people. And some people want those options. But David Schmidt already took care of it with the Celergize. Okay, so you don't have to go to all those links. He already, this is why he developed this, because people are experiencing what I'm talking to this practitioner about. And what I have sometimes happen with the people that I'm working with is they're like, well, I don't feel anything, Nikki, so it must not be working. No, 96% effectiveness rate means it's always working, but you need measurable results. So I'm wanting to be able to have, ways for people to get those measurable results and figure out what that looks like at hopefully a very minimal cost. So that's what she and I are working on. But that's why David Schmidt did all of this, so that the patch technology could be optimized. It's also why we won the Biotech Year of the Award, Stem Cell Innovation Year 2025 Year of, I'm not even saying it right. Somebody else can say it right for me. I'm so excited.
The Biotech Breakthrough Award.
Yes, thank you so much
for stem cell
technology.
innovation.
Yes, thank you so much for stem cell innovation. It's why we won that award, is because the combination of what he developed in the Celergize and the X39. So you cannot get all of this in one anywhere else. You can buy all the products in here individually, but it gives you all of those things that I just mentioned. It gives you the balance of zinc and copper properly. It gives you the electrolytes. It gives you the alanine. Okay, so it gives you the amino acids, some of that a lot of people are deficient in anyway. He developed this for that, to support the ability of the patch technology to work even 100%. 100%. Okay. So you don't have to go to all these lengths that I'm going to in trying to have, people that I know have options, because that's why David Schmidt did what he did. So just know you don't have to do all of those things. It's there. But again, having those measurable results, and especially for some people, mean a lot. And so that's why I'm working with this practitioner to do this. So the fact that she's already super healthy, and she's seeing it in her REM sleep, in her HRV, and in her readiness score is huge. Okay. So because she knows that when you're getting good sleep, then your body's able to regenerate and heal, which she knows that no matter what, we all need to have that going on every single day for our bodies to be able to do what they need to do. So for her to see that, and she also did all of her blood work, so we're waiting on that to come back. So I will have her coming on hopefully in about a month or two, so that she can share all of her personal measurable results of what she has been doing and what she and I have been working on together. But just the fact that in 30 days she had the measurable results from the Aura Ring, that's already enough for her to have what she needs to be able to want to offer this to her clients, because she knows if she can get them sleeping better, then everything else that she's doing with them, they're going to respond even better to that, because that's how we regenerate, is through sleeping and sleeping well and increasing your REM sleep by 100%. That's huge, which is what Pastor Ed was just explaining about the amygdala and everything that goes on in your body's ability to utilize what the amygdala does in the body. So anyway, so I'm super excited about that. That will be super fun for you guys to get to hear from her. And then hopefully she'll be using it with all of her clients as well. And there will be just so many amazing stories coming from that too. So I know we're totally over time, and I just went crazy with all the stories I was telling you. Anybody else that really wanted to come on tonight and didn't get to do that? Yes, Pastor Ed, please come on.
If nobody else, please interrupt me if you want to talk. But I have to tell you guys this. This is amazing. This is what's going to happen with the water machine that is coming out. I want you guys to understand that the launch is going to be starting to roll out on April. I don't know if it's April 1st, April Fool's, right? Or throughout the rest of April. So we know for sure it's on April. So what's going to be the initial rollout is going to be for the brand partners only. And it's not necessarily through ranks. So anybody that's brand partner, anybody that's a preferred customer, anybody that's a preferred customer plus, they all have access to buy the product. But first is brand partners. That's how they will roll it out. The cost is going to be $54.95 for us. The bonus or commission that we're going to receive is $1,000. We're going to get $2,000 BV when we sell it to one of our clients, and there's no requirements. This is really, really cool, guys. For those people that they're not even active. They're just pay the $25 for the year. They can buy a machine, and they don't have to buy a machine to sell it. They can just sell a machine themselves too. So they make it very easy for everybody to be able to have that machine that is coming out, because without it, even Vicky, we were out for like a couple weeks and waiting for the new machine, and we were just like, we know what the body needs and how incredible this machine is. Nikki, when you get it, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I get this? Where has this just been the rest of my
Don't
life?
even. You already know I've been saying all that. You already know.
So it's coming, guys. Get excited and get pinch your money together so that you can buy it. And there's also going to be a buy now and pay later option. That's going to be available. It wasn't available during the rollout of the beta testing, but it is going to be available now. So that is really, really cool. That's
Awesome.
it.
Yes. So, okay. So I'm sure there's 5 million questions because I have them going through my head. So get with your upline leader, whoever that is in your line. Make sure you get with your upline leader, ask them about it. They're going to know the details, more details, and probably be able to answer those questions. If they don't have the answer to a question that you may ask, which that's usually me, I ask a question that nobody can answer, but that's okay. They'll just tell you that too. But get with that upline leader, go ahead and ask those questions. We are all chomping at the bit for this water system. I know we are. So we will all celebrate and rejoice together when we all get it. And then we'll do a community night and we'll all get to talk about all the amazing things that we've noticed with the water technology. So we have kept you too long tonight. We hope you have enjoyed it tonight. Please make sure you get back with the person who invited you to the call. I know we didn't go over how the technology works, but I do that every Monday. So 6 o'clock Central Standard Time for 30 minutes. I go over the technology. I let you ask questions. Please invite people back. Your friends, your family, anybody is welcome on that call. That's what we're here. We're here to educate. So please use that call for this. My personal website is Embrace Optimal Health, so you can get questions answered there. Everything is in detail there for you too. Whatever studies you can, enter the password and get all the studies to come, read all of those. But get back with the person you invited to the call tonight. Come join us on Monday. We do this every week. We're on Mondays is education. Thursday is some kind of testimony. Wednesday, we do more business, or it'll be some random fun health thing, which of course I'm all about that. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We pray blessing over each and every one of you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. God bless.
Good night.
God bless.
Good night. Thank you.
Yes.